Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of the JV Analysts podcast. We're here just chatting some sports with our underinformed opinions, and hopefully it's entertaining for y'all, or at least it is for us. So, without further ado, we're just going to chat a little bit about the past weekend or so. We're just coming off a big college basketball time of March Madness. Just had the Final Four, National Championship, great games overall, and so we're just going to kind of hit on those a little bit. Did you have any initial thoughts or impressions, Jacob, that you wanted to get first off?
Yeah, very, very relieved that we were delivered the Final Four that we had been hoping for and uh, promised with such a historic level of teams in that Final Four. I was getting nervous for it because every round we felt like, oh, the teams are really good. But all year in college basketball, it's been very, very top heavy. We're the top four, top eight, or wherever you draw that line. How we're just better than the rest of the country, and yeah, those last games were absolutely insane. The obvious one, Houston Duke game. I think just about everybody in America was turning that off. Not necessarily turn it off, but you know, losing their interest or kind of closing the book, assuming the end was going to be Duke winning. But then Houston, it was. I remember I was almost like confused at the end. I just didn't even know what had just happened because it felt like it wasn't a game, and then suddenly one thing led to another, and Houston was winning, and
Yeah, because it wasn't even like a long comeback where you felt it brewing, something where you're like, oh, maybe they can actually pull this off. Because I remember 2 minutes left in the game, Cooper Flag has this massive block that just makes it feel like, oh yeah, they're running away, they're sealing this thing, momentum's on their side. What are they gonna do? But yeah, really crazy, great
because
ending there.
that kind of moment is where most teams you know the game's not going the way you want, and you have a big moment like that kind of more or emotionally puts a stamp on that game, closes it, and you kind of accept your fate. Uh, the best way to describe Houston is that they just don't give up on anything ever. That game was 99 point. Really, they're the only team in the country that really would not have completely given up or even partially given up at that point. And they do the same thing on every single play. There's plays that they would make in that game and in the national championship that you just think, I would have just accepted that layup, and you know they contest it. Just every loose ball they're diving. The offensive rebounds, I feel like, in portions during this game and the next one, they just get insane. Like, they're not a talented. I mean, they're a talented team, but they're not the most talented team. That was why I never knew who to pick whenever we were talking about these games, because Duke is so talented, so talented, just an insanely good roster. But Houston, just mature, mentally poised, never gives up on a situation. Roles reversed, Duke would have lost that game, you know? So, yeah.
Yeah.
One other thought on that also is I was incredibly disappointed with the play Duke drew
I
up.
was gonna bring up that on the last, like, because they missed the Cooper Flag shot, right? They make the fouls. They've got 3.7 seconds, and then they chuck it 3/4 of the court.
Yeah.
I hated that. I was gonna bring up the
Yeah,
same thing.
I hated that too. I felt like you're better. You got a better shot of, you know, running down and shooting a half court shot.
Yeah.
But I guess they'd had some issues inbounding the ball to that point, so maybe
Okay.
they thought, let's just play. What's that game that kids would play where you throw it in the ball, jackpot or whatever it's called?
Oh, yeah, jackpot,
Yeah.
500, whatever. Yeah.
Let's just play jackpot and make it happen. But I actually wasn't very happy with the play that Cooper missed the
Correct.
shot. He got a decent look.
Yeah, I was gonna say the look seemed fine, but I didn't
That's
really
like,
pay attention to
to
play.
me, that's a shot or that's a play you do when you're trying to get Cooper involved early in the game or mid game. In college basketball, I don't know. It's just I feel like it's a rough position to put this 19, 18-year-old into to just say, here's the ball, no screens, just go in there and hit a fadeaway shot. I don't.
Up, yeah.
I don't feel like that's. You got to do some actions, have some screens going. I don't know, something. I was really disappointed and unimpressed that they just literally gave it to him in the corner and then said dribble it and do a fadeaway shot. Like I said, not a bad shot, but it's just like your season is on the line, and you've made one shot in the last 10 minutes of regulation.
Yeah.
Why not give yourself a better shot and
or open it up to have a.
Yeah, you can run a play for Cooper flag, and then if that is covered, then you have options also. It's not a Cooper go do it, or it's just and they've done that several times this year. All of their close losses have been like they just give it to Cooper in the clutch. I don't think he's not a good clutch player, but it's a rough position to be put into.
Yeah. On the other side too, I was rewatching actually the last couple minutes of that game earlier today. As they were starting to come back, they're down by 3 at a certain point, and they get the steal on the inbound, and then pass it. The guy runs to the 3, quick turnaround shot, and it's like you have 17 seconds left. It's a 3-point game. I feel like, again, with my JV analysis, there's better options, at least to get a better shot.
You're saying when Houston did that?
Yeah, Houston steals the inbounds pass, kicks it out. Player, I think number 8, runs out to the 3-point, just like literally 180.
I think he even ran out himself potentially.
Yeah, he runs out and then turns around quick and just jacks it up.
Yeah. Also, and this kind of counter that is you don't want to let the defense set up. He was open, not necessarily the highest percentage shot, but you try and get set up and suddenly the defense is there and you don't know if you're going to get a good look from there. So I don't hate it, especially considering how good they are at offensive rebounds. Duke's big man, what's his first name? I don't remember, but Malik or however you say it, he's the 7'2" South Sudanese guy. Apparently had 0 rebounds, I think. Let me confirm that, but that is crazy. I don't even understand how that's possible. Yeah. So overall, though, really exciting game. Any thoughts on the Florida-Auburn game?
No, I don't have any lasting impressions. I did a quick review, and it's just kind of, Walter Clayton's the guy. He's so, and I noticed this more in the finals, but confident. You can just tell, he plays with confidence. He doesn't get flustered ever that I've seen, and I don't know. I was just super impressed.
Yeah,
even when he's not shooting well, he's finding the guys. He's moving it. He's flowing. It's been impressive.
Yeah, I 100% agree. It was during that Auburn came out in the first half, and I felt like, especially down low, they were just dominating the game. Janai Broom was just, making his presence and everything. But then obviously Florida comes back. Towards the end of the game, my wife Alyssa walks in and she's sitting down, and I say, keep an eye on, I can't even remember what number Walter Clayton is, number 1 maybe. I said, keep an eye on this player. He's extremely good in the clutch. They passed the ball to him, and internally, it was almost it was a foregone conclusion. I didn't feel any curiosity. I knew he was just going to score. I don't He's just done it time and time again at this point where he just does it. Sure enough, he walks down and he gets that and one little floater to go. And it was, he's just so good in the clutch. I'm curious to see how he'll hold in NBA. He being a little bit smaller. I don't know, 6'2" or something now. But yeah, certainly very pleased with those two games. I was really excited for them. They delivered. I think everybody agrees that they delivered, especially that Houston one. Literally left me speechless, and set us up for a good championship game too. What were your initial thoughts on the championship game?
It was not a lot. Like, I didn't have big impressions throughout the game, but the biggest one for me was like at the very end. We've been singing Houston's praises this entire tournament of how they handle themselves, and then they just kind of break down. I didn't see that coming. I don't quite understand what happened. They've been so poised. So yeah, it was just kind of confusing to me to watch that.
Yeah, I 100% agree, and I'm sure everybody on the planet who watched this game kind of thought the same thing. It's like you've consistently delivered in the clutch, whether they're ahead or not ahead, tie game, whatever it is. Not only that, they've drawn up really good plays, but I felt like the last two possessions they had, it was like they were just running around headless out there. It really felt like there wasn't even a play. They just kind of were like, go down there and see what you can make happen, which I'm curious what they were saying in that huddle, because either the actions they had got broken up pretty early and so they had to adjust, which I'm assuming is the case, or I don't know. It was just bizarre.
Yeah.
But
because the Final Four stage isn't that much smaller than like the championship stage, and so like the Final Four is going to be their biggest game to that point. And so why I don't understand, like, if they lose their minds in the final, why would they wouldn't have in the Final Four?
Yeah, well, first off, their Final Four game had more viewers, but that's neither here nor there. But I don't know. I don't necessarily think it's because they were like overly nervous or anything. I think probably their play just got broken up early. I don't know what to say about it. That ending was honestly so disappointing. I was rooting for Houston, so maybe that's why, but you want to at least see a shot go up.
A shot, yeah.
You like to see the ball just bounce with nobody touching it for the last 3 seconds it was both extremely climactic or whatever that word is and anticlimactic at the same time, where it was like utter chaos, but at the same time you're thinking, I kind of want a different chaos where a shot was up, and the buzzer goes off with the shot in the air.
Yeah, I don't remember who shot that or who was attempting to shoot that. Is he a prospect? Does he have a future?
I don't think he's going to go to the league, but he has had several big time shots. He hit the three that put a go ahead three in the Duke game, I believe, if I'm remembering the sequence correctly. They also had a game very similar to the Duke game against Kansas, who at the time was good, early in the year, and he had just a really deep contested three. He's done it several times throughout the season.
It just sucks that his basketball career is going to be defined by that rather than the Houston or the.
He's the reason they made it to the finals. That last shot that he made in the Duke game, but his legacy is going to be purely based on that, and you just feel for the guy. He cannot sleep right now. It's. I mean, that's got to be the worst. When I make a stupid play at pickup, I can't sleep that night. But I mean, insane, absolute chaos, a ton of fun. I'm going to look back very fondly on this Final Four and championship game.
And it's nice they were such good games, so we don't look like idiots for wanting these high seeds, because if they were just blowouts, it'd be like, well, then might as well put a 12 seed in there too,
Yeah.
But since we're actually getting what we were promised, it's validating.
Yeah, for sure. It was a lot of fun, and as somebody who's historically followed the NBA, I'm pretty in on college basketball, and I think I will be in the future for a couple reasons. Number one, the way it's set up, the environment of the games in college, way better. The storyline and interest tends to be way better. There's not, I mean, at least historically, there wasn't as many, we'll call them mercenaries, where they're just going for money. I think that's going to be gone, though. And then additionally, the NBA refs, dude, they just throw a text for the dumbest things ever. You're not allowed to play defense without getting called fouls. So it's been a ton of fun this year to dive deeper into college ball, and for me, it's also been fun kind of watching the portal a little bit. Have you seen anything from the portal? I know you got a newborn there, so I don't expect
I'm
it.
just staying pretty busy, but no, haven't really been following the portal that much. Anything particularly noteworthy?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to be the resident expert, but a couple teams are big winners today. It was, let me just confirm some stuff here. Yeah, today it kind of came out that Baylor's star guard, that I think he came off the bench, but I was really impressed with him every time I've watched Baylor play. Apparently they were like building the roster around him, or that was their promise that they would, and he was going to be the featured guy. Then he surprised them a day or two ago, however long it was, said that he was going to the portal, and apparently BYU had thrown $3.5 million at him. So now BYU's got just a loaded roster with a bunch of 4-stars, Richie Saunders, obviously, and Debensa, or however you say his name, paired with this Rob Wright guy. So interesting to see there, and a couple other teams I think have done well. Kentucky struggled early on, but then they've picked up a couple key guys here late. I believe it was Georgetown has done really well. And then Louisville has, they're a big winner. They picked up a couple of big guys early on, so maybe another team in the ACC to stand out. And then the only other team that really stood out for me was Michigan. They picked up, what's this guy's name? A UAB center, I believe, and he was one of the better guys on the market, and I think he will slot in really well. They also took UCLA's guard. I'm blanking on names right now, but so anyways, I think they reloaded, and I have a lot of faith that Michigan's gonna make a run next year. Even though I don't really root for them, and I actually typically root against them. So, anyways, kind of chaotic. I think there's well over 3,000 people in the transfer portal, or who have been in the transfer portal between D1 and D2. So, kind of interesting to see how that all evolves, but been a lot of fun to track it in the meantime. Have you followed at all the NBA job chaos that's been going on?
Well, I saw, I'm sure there's more, but I saw Denver coach Malone's out.
Yeah.
I don't know what led to that, and necessarily besides that they haven't had as good a season, I guess, but...
Yeah, I mean, you never really know what's going on. I feel like right after the fact, it takes a couple days for things to kind of trickle in. Another thing was like 11 days ago, Memphis fired their coach, Jenkins. And you know, they're a good, well-rostered team for the most part. But I think they've had some struggles with... I know Ja thought he needed more touches. I think I saw that. Anyways, but like, it seems like Mike Malone lost the locker room for Denver. I saw that he said every time he asked people to watch film, they they tell him he's tripping or something. And then he's also butted heads with the GM, and they also fired the GM, which, and then like apparently it also came out that locker room all hated each other, which I guess that's like you can move on from a coach with all those things if he's lost the locker room. You know, they're underperforming, but also they have a crappy roster aside from their top 2 or 3. You know. And then apparently the owner doesn't want Russell Westbrook closing games, which he has been doing. So anyways, regardless of it, you don't fire your coach 5 days before the season ends.
Yeah.
That's the chaotic, crazy thing. It feels like ever since Luka got traded, they're just kind of like every team feels empowered to just do their wildest bidding and...
Because it's not like, no matter what happens from now on in the NBA, it's not going to make as much waves. So, like, might as well, if you had something in your back of your mind that you've been wanting to do, might as well just throw it now. Cause...
Yeah, I saw something on Twitter that was like the owners were going to fire one of the GM and coach after the season, but then they figured, let's just do it now. And I'm like, well, why do you figure that?
Yeah. Yeah.
What's the advantage of that? I guess you're early for the coach's cycle, but even then, like...
I feel like that hurts you, too, for that, because why would a coach want to go? Same kind of thing with Dallas, of, like, why would a free agent want to go if they've been treated in a certain way, so...
Yeah, and I don't know all the coaches on the market, but Mike Mullen's probably one of the top 2 or 3. Yeah. So, I don't know. It doesn't make sense. Might as well try your luck one more run at the playoffs here. You have Jokic, who's playing out of his mind. I don't know. NBA, it's run like reality TV show more than a sports show or a sports league. It's just, it's like biggest marketing thing is drama. Like this, the Mavs Lakers are gonna get crazy views tonight, and it's not because of basketball.
Right, yeah.
So yeah, it's pretty bizarre. Any other things that you did watch this week that you want to comment on, or was it mainly focused on basketball?
Yeah, I mean, we mentioned last time we were on about Alex Ovechkin chasing the great one. Ended up
penguin slide.
He did it. He had a nice little one-timer in the left side and penguin slide. It was really cool. They stopped the game for quite a while, and I mean, you kind of have to. It's a big accomplishment. Feel bad for the Islanders, but they pulled away with the wind anyway. So, but it's interesting also watching. Like, I'm not a LeBron hater. Let's just get that out of the way. Like, but I respect hockey players more than I respect basketball players, and just watching that process, the Alex Ovechkin process of getting the scoring title versus LeBron winning the all-time scoring was very different and very. It was interesting, kind of how the teams handled it, how the individuals handled it, how the organizations handled it. It was interesting.
Yeah. I actually didn't even know. I saw that he was one behind, but then I guess I missed the tying one, and so I was really surprised, or I would have tuned into that game. But really cool that happened. Is he close to retiring, or is he?
I think this is his last year, and then he's off to. I've heard Russia. We'll see what happens, but
still playing hockey, just lower levels, probably. Do it. So he do it. He seems like a sicko when it comes to hockey, where he's just got that look on his face. You know,
he's a madman. The interesting thing is too, like, and that's not as widely known, is he has the scoring title now, but he is also within reach of the all-time hits leader, and so he probably can't get that this season. But if he stays next season, he could have both the scoring and hits, which is kind of nuts.
What constitutes? There's a lot of bumping in hockey.
Yeah.
What constitutes a hit versus? Is it,
I don't know.
It's not knockdowns.
It's textbook. It's like more than incidental contact, I guess. Mm-hmm. Like rather than that's probably like going. I'm making stuff up, but going because my league is no check, so I have no idea. But like going Rather than kind of like going in the same direction for a puck and guiding them off. It's more like a head-on-head, maybe.
Yeah.
That's my theory.
Yeah.
But,
Regardless, I imagine the feeling of laying into somebody would be awesome. One time when I was playing flag football in college, intramural, you're not allowed to block. But this team I was playing kept blocking. They would run a little pitch to the right, and they'd have their quarterback, who was clearly a fullback in high school, just go and block, and the refs weren't calling it. So I did what any moral sports junkie would do, and I laid my body on the line. And I acted like he wasn't blocking, and I just sprinted towards the guy, and he laid me out, and then he got ejected, kicked out of the league.
Let's go.
It was awesome. He was cussing me out. Apparently I blacked out. I actually don't remember anything. But apparently he stood over me and was looking down at me, cussing me out after the fact. But
wow.
Listen,
I mean, he had to do that.
He's bigger than me. But I just thought, if we're going to have a chance in this game, he's got to go. He's breaking the rules. We're not blocking. He's blocking. I'm doing this. So I just I went for it. And I don't even remember how it went, except for that I was in a lot of pain. But, sometimes the pain makes sports all the better.
It's for the integrity of the game. He just had to uphold it.
Yeah, and I also, I don't mean to boast, but I led our team in charges in college as well, my intramural team. So I'm all about these dirty plays.
Taking them.
Yeah, getting in the nitty gritty. So, but that's awesome to hear. Hopefully, it sounds like you won't hit it, but I'm a big fan of those kind of plays. So, what are you looking forward to this week? I know there's a couple things on. Anything you're looking forward to watching this week?
Mavs Lakers tonight. I haven't watched a game since Luka left, and I might not make it through the whole game, but I do want to see the start first of all and see how he's received. I can't imagine it'll be anything but positive for him.
The Mavs have this week. They put out a bunch of thank you, Luka. You did so much for us. I'm like, all right, just save it, dude. You're like. And I'm mixed because I don't want to watch it because it pisses me off that they're going to get this great rating because they did the stupidest thing of all time for this game. And it just makes me hate the NBA even more. But at the same time, I do want to watch it because I hope he drops 100 on them.
I hope he just relegates them to the G League. And,
we need relegation in the NBA is really what we need. But I read this thing that said the Mavs will. I'll just read the quote. It's a decision that probably will cost the franchise 9 figures over the next several years, as the Mavs are projected to lose dozens of millions in revenue this season due to dwindling costs, plummeting merchandise sales, and sponsors severing ties with the franchise.
That's crazy.
Love it. I love it.
Oh, karma. And every time there's like a social media post, I just like to feel the heat a little bit, and so I'll look at the comments and just see how everybody's feeling, and top to bottom it's fire Nico, or I haven't watched a game since this, or just any number of things, and it's like that. At least we're all on board.
And so much so that I actually unfollowed all Mavs personalities on Twitter and stuff because it just got almost too repetitive for me, where not that it's not true, but it's like every play Luka makes, I thought he drank too much, or blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
It's just like, it's just so dumb that nothing really feels like it does it justice, but I'm very glad if that report is true that they're losing a bunch of money because they did it to save a bunch of money. Hopefully, I don't know, it's ridiculous. And apparently also the Mavs reached out to a bunch of brands that Luka pairs with to do these sponsorship for this game and put a significant amount of money towards it, but then Luka told all of his people, I don't want that, so they said no to him and to the Mavs. And so I feel a little bit vindicated that the Mavs are feeling it a little bit. They're sweating, they're putting good PR about Luka out now, so
too little too late.
Yeah, yeah. Hey, are you a Masters watcher? Are you gonna watch any golf this?
I am. I forgot about that. Yeah, tomorrow we got the Masters, so I'll I'll probably honestly just follow Scotty. Like
Mm.
I can't keep track of all the players, so I'll probably just tune into Scotty and see how his rounds are going.
Yeah, I have never once watched any golf ever. But did. I had a buddy who sent me like Masters Fantasy. I don't know if you've ever done that or heard of that, where essentially you pick like one previous winner, one American, one international, one wild card. I don't remember what that means, and something else. Uh, and then whoever has the lowest score wins. So I just picked whoever had the projected lowest because I had no idea.
Yeah,
But then I decided, you know what? I'm gonna go for it. I'm gonna watch.
just do it.
Yeah.
Just
So
the one
I'll,
thing about watching the Masters is sometimes you have to turn the sound off because the announcers are awful.
is it because it's over like 6 hours, or are they just awful, awful?
Well, I mean, it's probably the 6 hours thing because there's only so much you can say, and the amount of times I've heard like on this Friday afternoon in Augusta or something like that, it makes me want to just lose my mind. So that's the one thing I'll say. But watching the shots is incredible. I was watching they had on like a 3-par course today.
Yeah, I
think it's a
watched that
tradition,
today.
and it's just incredible. Some of these shots, it's just
Yeah, I don't know much about golf. I've golfed a handful of times, and I have gotten a birdie before. Don't mean to boast, but anyways, the nice thing is like I can work and I can just
yeah.
it's not something that's going to distract me a ton. Like you can do it while doing other things. It's not
Yeah.
it's not a game where you have to be fully paying attention at all times. So I'll be tuned in. I'll go for Scheffler too. I might have gotten him, or maybe I picked DeChambeau, or what's his name, Bryson DeChambeau.
Bryson DeChambeau, yeah.
Yeah, I think he's on my team, so I'll be tuned into him as well, along with that Japanese guy that won like a year or two ago. Can't remember his name. I think I have him, but yeah, we'll see. We'll see about it. Last week of NBA hoops, I'm out of date with everything going on in NBA because I was jaded and I haven't been able to get back into it. So I'll probably watch a couple games. No particular games that stick out. I'll probably just every time a playoff team is televised, I'll tune in and see what I can, and then I'll be ready to know what to look for during the playoffs, and I'll do that too. Do you know when the hockey? How many games they got left in hockey? It's about the same schedule, right?
Yeah, there's about 3 left for most teams, and then the playoffs start on the 20th. So yeah, it lines up pretty well.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, hopefully we will have a couple exciting weeks with those 2 playoffs going on. Hopefully, good games, lots to talk about. Then the only other event really that we have coming up is the UFC has a big fight card coming up with Volk and Diego Lopez, I believe.
And by Volk and Diego Lopez, you mean Bryce Mitchell post fight?
Yes. Yeah, really every fight on here looks exciting. Volk, Lopez, I love Lopez. Kind of early for a title shot for him, but Volk kind of late for a title shot for him. No, I mean I'm a big fan of both of them. Curious to see if Volk still got it because he's come off a couple losses, but both of those losses were kind of short notice and quick turnaround, and knockout if I'm not mistaken, both of them. So I'm not too worried. I don't think he actually got knocked out against Islam, but anyways, that one should be good. I think I'm picking Volk. Who do you think is gonna win that one?
I'm a big Volk fan. I like him a lot. I'll go Volk.
Nice, yeah. And then
It's hard when they have had like losses because you just see that throughout the entire sport. Once you get a loss, it's just for whatever reason you just lose.
yeah,
it,
whether
so.
it's your brain is mush or
Yeah.
or the visual of you being untouchable is gone. So whatever it is,
Yeah.
it's it does seem to go that way. So
But I am sticking Volk.
Then this other next fight, also kind of same vein where I don't know what to expect. Paddy, kind of, this is by far his biggest jump, but also Michael Chandler doesn't actually win that much, but he's faced like the legends of the game. So hard to know what to think. What are your thoughts on who's going to take this one?
My gut is Michael Chandler, but I feel like Patty is more alike to the other fighters that beat Michael Chandler, in the way that he can grapple and is a little quicker.
Yeah.
So I think I would go Patty hesitantly.
Yeah, I mean, really, if Patty pulls this off, he will jump several tiers in my mind. I just don't think he's there. Again, it's hard to know with Michael Chandler because he doesn't actually finish people that often, but there's always like a looming, what if he finishes this person, you know?
Yeah.
So I'm going Michael Chandler just because he's hung in with the big dogs of the weight of the division. And Patty hasn't really beat anybody good. King Green was the last guy he beat, and he's on like a 4 or 5 loss streak now. So yeah, I just think it's a big jump for Patty, but I'm gonna be rooting for Patty. But yeah, I don't think it's gonna happen. Do you have any thoughts on the Yair Rodriguez and Patricio Pitbull? Pitbull was a PFL champ, I believe, or was it Bellator, whatever it was. He was a champ, so you never know when they hop over into the UFC.
Yair's a stud, though, so
yeah, that's what I've heard.
I don't. Yeah. So, but I don't know much about Pitbull, so I can't really make a.
I don't either, but
really
I'm gonna go Pitbull because Yair. I watched a couple of his fights. He's good, but I'm not like. There's nothing that stands out that makes me think he's gonna make a run in the weight class. So, and then the serious fight that we're all concerned about here.
I need Bryce Mitchell to win. I need him on the mic.
Well, he'll be on the mic either way, whether it's in the after a win-loss or if they don't give him the mic, he'll get on some podcast. He'll find a podcast to get on.
That needs to be a prop bet of what he is going to talk about. Like, is it going to be flat Earth? Is it going to be
Jews?
It could be Jews.
Like, did I send you that thing where he was saying Silva's been overrun by a legion of demons? Did you see that quote? Yeah, he was saying ever since that press conference, he's had dreams of his 2 weaknesses where he was being attacked by a legion of demons or something like that. And then quickly it'll switch to beautiful women trying to sleep with him. And so he was saying like that's his evidence of Silva being overrun by demons, and so he's gonna do it for the faith, if you will.
Well, yeah, it checks out. I mean, yeah, beautiful women, demons. Yeah.
And then he said when he started talking about religion in the press conference they did a month ago or whenever, Silva started barking, which is true. But Silva's a known barker. He likes to bark. So, regardless, I'm gonna be thoroughly entertained by this.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to it.
You got a guy who barks like a dog constantly, and another guy who wrapped his scrotum with a screwdriver and had to go to the emergency room. So it's a win-win.
2 pillars of our society right there.
Yes. Yeah. So it'll be good. Yeah, a lot of good sports. It's always a bittersweet thing. I mean, UFC's year-round, but when you get to the pinnacle of all these sports where it's just so entertaining, you just, in the back of your mind, you know it's going to the dead season of there's no...
I mean, there's baseball, which I've been debating how into baseball I'm going to get this year.
I'm going to try, but it's also hard to watch. There's not a ton of... like, they're not televised. I feel like a
they're
lot of
not.
times.
Yeah, there's so many. I don't know. And then there's also, and I have no idea. I need to look into the accessibility of this. But cricket is in like the second or third season of Major League Cricket. So
Yeah, I need to go. I think Dallas or Fort Worth or Denton or somewhere around here.
Dallas Super Kings.
Yeah, I need to go find some tickets. Get to that.
Yeah.
In that vein, we're talking about cricket, lesser known sport. First off, I'm trying to break into the online communities of a couple of these smaller sports. Found a dodgeball Twitter page. I'm all up in there. If you were to guess what region or state of America runs collegiate dodgeball, what would you guess?
It's got to be. I'm going to say Midwest somewhere. I'm going to say Indiana.
Almost. You had a good idea here. Let me get the most current ones because the ones I just pulled up were from 2023. Let's see here. This state is Ohio. They had 3 of the final 4 in there, and the top 25 has Akron, Ohio, Grand Valley State, which I believe is in Ohio, Miami, Ohio, Ohio State, Cincinnati, all in the top 10.
Wow.
So, yeah. So they're all, Cincinnati's number 8, so they're all in the top 8. So, and Michigan State's number 2. So really, that pocket
Just
of America,
right there, yeah.
they love their dodgeball.
Yeah.
They're big.
Where does that come from, I wonder? Is that like, I don't know.
I don't know.
Snowballs?
Something's in the water up there.
Yeah.
I don't know, but I need to get to a game, a match. In fact, I don't think there's any Ole Miss is in there. There's no other SEC teams that are featured here, so they don't get the budget that
Yeah.
the Midwest has there. Penn State's also in there. Maryland. There's a ton of Big Ten teams in here.
That's
Actually,
crazy.
Illinois. So
That'd be cool
Yeah.
if there's like a big tournament to go to, actually.
yeah, it just wrapped up though, and I can't remember who won. I think Miami, Ohio won. But I saw a couple college dodgeball pages yapping at each other. A couple Ohio-based teams, yapping at each other a little bit, which we love to see. We love to see it. So, alrighty. Well, I think that wraps up what we had. We appreciate everybody taking a little bit of time watching. If you get to this point, let us know. You'll be the first person. So, all right. Till next time, everybody.